Releasing vows to perfection, which are bindings on your will, on the will. This is a meditation. I release you. Your vows and pledges and promises that you've made to yourself and to others and to the world are clues to the things that call to you and also to the things that have let you down. We make vows when someone lets us down. I will never do that to anyone. We say, we pledge, I will never let anyone down. I will never hurt anyone like that. I will never speak to someone the way he spoke to me. I will never harm my own children. I will never eat animals. I will never break a promise. We pledge with all our hearts. And really, what an act of love, right? I mean, out of our own suffering, the first thing we want to do is prevent the suffering of others in the future, prevent ourselves from causing suffering like this to anyone else. What an act of fierce love for everyone, for people we've never even met yet. Right? So already, out of this wound, out of this harm that we receive, we're creating blessing already. And what a clue to our own kindness and generosity, and you could say our own divine nature that responds to harm, to hurt, with love. So you look at the surge of energy that this kind of experience, this trauma, this heartbreak creates. This surge of power rises up from inside of you. Out of a wound, we create love. What beautiful hearts we have. And so I want to give you this small piece of work you can do to release yourself from vows, pledges, and promises and liberate the reserves of energy that you're using by holding yourself bound in these promises as if you would not, as if you couldn't be trusted without the vow, without the binding on your will, as if you couldn't be trusted to not do that kind of harm yourself. And my love, you can be trusted. That's what this work is about. And you need that energy that you're using to hold yourself under control, in check, just in case you might do that kind of harm. You need that energy to animate your life in present time. Yeah. So this work is about trusting yourself, releasing yourself from these bindings that you made in the past to always be good. So you may have promised, I will always be there for my friends. And so you can ask now in present time, maybe a few years past when you made that promise to yourself and to those friends, right? With this wider awareness and an open heart, you can ask again, do I still resonate with being there for this person? Number one, right? Do I really need to be there all the time for this person? And also, do I trust that if this person really needed me to be there, I would come? Or do I need to have this law sort of written into my DNA, right? Or can I trust that I would respond from love? Can I trust my own goodness, my own willingness to help, right? So if you no longer resonate with being there for this person, maybe you're not even friends anymore, you can just release yourself with infinite gentleness from a vow you no longer need. So the same is true for vows that you've made about being a perfect parent, a good spouse, a diligent worker. Whenever an old vow arises in you, check it for resonance. Is this something that I need to be concerned with all the time, flowing attention to anymore? Can I trust myself to be good without having to be perfect? And so I'm going to grant you a pass on a few things, like a get out of jail free card. So I give you a pass. You are not required to be perfect. You are allowed to make mistakes. Everyone does. It's how we learn. We make mistakes. You may not always be kind, pleasant, thoughtful, or on time. I forgive you. I forgive you for all the mistakes you've made in the past and all the ones you will inevitably make in the future. I promise you will forget someone's birthday. You will let someone down. They will forgive you if you let them, if you ask them to, if you forgive yourself. Sometimes the dishes will be left in the sink, and that's okay. You can ask someone who cares about you to wash them. If that someone is you, wash them with great love. I release you from every promise, every vow, every pledge you've ever made. Let yourself off the hook. I encourage you to let the people in your life off the hook too. And you can use this little prayer. Release me, prayer and blessing. Release me from this binding. Release me from this binding that I made and put on myself. It is no longer necessary. I do not need it, and I let it go. As I let it go, it lets me go. I am free. Thank you. I release you from this binding that I made on you. It is no longer necessary. I do not need it. You do not need it. I let it go. I let you go. I let you go. And I release you. Forgive me. And I forgive you. Thank you. So I hope that you'll use this prayer, and I hope that you'll be a little kinder to yourself and trust yourself to be there without having to be held inside a vow of perfection. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them. Have a good day.